Today we're going to be talking about monitoring of instruction. Monitoring has become of concern as we really start to take a closer look at student data. The student data tells us whether students have mastered the content or not. When we determine that students have not mastered content, we then look for the root cause. We start with the common planning process and really look at that transfer of planning into instructional delivery. Instructional delivery does not only include the teacher relaying content to students, but also includes the teacher authentically looking to determine whether students understand the content and whether they have mastered the standard. It no longer only includes us looking for on-task behaviors, on-task conversations, or whether students are just simply performing the task. We have to move from a state of compliance to a state of authentically monitoring instruction, which includes making observations of students' tasks and performance, and should result in teacher-student interactions and, when needed, adjustments to instruction. Monitoring can be compliant and it can be authentic. Compliant monitoring includes students performing a task where they appear to understand, therefore, the teacher moves on to the next part of the lesson or the next task. This form of monitoring can be ineffective as we cannot assume that because students are not asking for help that they do not need help. Authentic monitoring includes seeing and hearing what students are doing and saying, which prompts teachers to probe thinking, redirect responses, and or revisit topics whole group if necessary. As we probe student thinking, we're questioning their thinking. We're listening for acceptable planned responses. All of this will help us to make adjustments to instruction. Written and verbal feedback is very important. It may look like the teacher walking the room, reading responses, circling specific content that students may need to correct or that they really responded to well. You might even ask a question to students or write a word with a question mark that will redirect their thinking to revise their response. When we redirect responses, we might ask a student to review some previously taught content, reflect on something that was further back in their notebook, and then we come back to them at a later time. We might ask them to turn and talk to a partner to revise their thinking, and then we come back to them at a later time. All of this to allow them an opportunity to become successful in the task. We might have to revisit topics whole group so that students become successful in the task. The goal of authentic monitoring is to gain insight into what students understand and what they do not understand. It is not to provide students with answers. We don't want to provide students with answers, but we need to ensure that we are allowing them or helping them to be able to move forward and revise their thinking so that they can become successful in the task. Message Sent is an instructional resource that reviews monitoring through various high-yield strategies and tasks. You can visit Amazon.com to order the book and make sure that you look for my next video on student engagement. Thank you for partnering with me in education.